Start with my review of the 2018 Cheltenham Festival by looking at the Grade 1 events on the Thursday, the Tuesday, and we'll start with the Grade 1 Supreme Novices Hurdle run over 2 miles and half a furlong for novices. It was run with an official going description of heavy, soft in places, very testing conditions. Rich Ritchie, Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh provided the hot favourite for this contest, and Get a Bird went off at 7 to 4. He'd looked very impressive in small fields in Ireland previously, but was something of an unknown quantity, and his position at the head of the market was based as much on reputation as it was on actual substance. Mullins and Walsh had provided the previous 4 favourites in this contest, and Would Get a Bird proved to be more of a Vitor and Duvan who were successful, while Malin and Min, who were beaten when short price favourites but ran respectable races in coming second. In the event, Get a Bird proved neither. He proved a very disappointing favourite. He was too keen for his own good in the early stages, given his head by Walsh after jumping 3 flights. He ran keen throughout, jumped novicely on occasions, and weakened gradually from 3 out to finish a distant 11th. The finish was fought out by 2 horses who'd fought out the finish of the Tolworth Hurdle at Sandown in January, namely Somerville Boy and Kalashnikov, with again Somerville Boy coming out on top by a neck. He can be rated better than the Bear result, as he was involved in scrimmaging after stumbling at the second last before staying on Dowley up the hill to win by a neck. Kalashnikov ran a blinder for first season trainer Amy Murphy, and both looked chasers in the making. They could clash again in one of the novice chase events at next year's festival. Mengley Khan ran more like his pre-season form in Ireland to come third, not beaten too far, though the fact he'd been beaten 11 lengths by Get a Bird in his previous contest puts the favourites run into some sort of context. Paloma Vu travelled like the best horse in the race and can win good races, possibly at Punchestown when granted better ground and a strong pace to aim at. Davy Russell was delighted afterwards, as was Henry de Bromhead. Now to the Arkle, Walsh and Mullins gained some sort of compensation for Get a Bird's eclipse with Footpad in the colours of Simon Monier and Isaac Swade. Footpad looks an outstanding novice and had been jumped brilliantly in 3 successes in Ireland, including 2 Grade 1s. He overcame a terrible blunder at the 6th and briefly looked out of his ground as Petit Mouchoir and San Calvados duelled for the lead up front. Those two could never keep up such a gallop though, and Davy Russell was unable to get a breather into Petit Mouchoir, who eventually finished third at any stage. Footpad came back onto the bridle, jumping 3 out, loomed up and stretched away for an impressive 14-length victory. He can be rated one of the best Arkle winners of the last decade and looks an outstanding prospect. He is to be aimed at Aintree next, with connections suggesting a step up and trip lies ahead, and possibly even a Gold Cup campaign in the future. Petit Mouchoir could be rated the second best horse in the race, having done so much early on and jumping well, where Brain Power was given a sympathetic confidence restoring ride by Nico de Bonfil following a fall at Ascot last time to finish a distant second. San Calvados was disappointing in finishing a distant 4th, and he looked something of a flat track bully who can only be seen at his best when granted an easy lead or his own way up front. The Champion Hurdle, the feature race of the day, saw Bouvier retain his title, winning at odds on from Willie Mullins' Malin, who had been very well back from 16 to 1 into 7 to 1 before the off. The winner was possibly not seen at his best on the day and had been beating small fields, inferior opposition easily throughout the winter, and perhaps was not battled hardened for the contest. Malin travelled equally as well and briefly looked the winner between the last 2 flights, having nosed ahead for Paul Townend, and as a 6-year-old lightly raced can possibly be feasibly seen to reverse the form next year with a lot of improvement in the pipeline. Malin may also improve for a better surface. For Heen, again, the former champion ran well below his best, making numerous jumping errors, never looking comfortable, and although a step up and trip was mooted afterwards, he does look a light of former days, and we may never see the return of the machine. Mick Jazz ran a great race for Gordon Elliott as a model of consistency and finished a close-up 3rd. He falls slightly below this level, but is an admirable sort. Wicklow Brave shaped with promise back in the field, travelling and jumping well for Patrick Mullins, and can be seen to better effect at Punchestown, where he has previously been successful, with a flat campaign no doubt being planned further ahead. He is a previous winner of the Irish St Ledger and may be aimed at that contest again in the autumn. Apple's Jade proved a bitter disappointment as one of the bankers of the week for the Irish in the OLBG Mares Novices Hurdle. She was up there all the way, had every chance, but looked very one-paced in the closing stages in conditions that should have suited and may need a minimum of 3 miles these days. The winner, Benny Didier, was having a first runner over hurdles since 2015 in her native France and had won 3 chases in the meantime, 1 at Carlisle, 2 in Ireland, and looks at every inch a chaser in the making. She travelled well, was an unexposed sort, briefly hit a flat spot between the second last and last, before staying on stoutly up the hill to beat the outsider Midnight Tour by a length. The runner-up is a model of consistency for Ellen King and deserves to win a big contest at some point in the near future. The winner won in the cause of Rich Ritchie, again gaming compensation for the disappointing Getter Bird in the opening contest. Special mention should be reserved for Lizzie Kelly, who rode a first festival winner after the disappointment of Tifa 2 in last year's Gold Cup, when partnering Kustar Savola in the Ultimate Handicap Chase, the second race on the card, and she looked delighted afterwards. A much deserved first winner at the festival for Lizzie Kelly.